work. How disappointing was it knowing everything that they were coming in off the back of? You even flagged during the week that they'd come in firing, that you weren't able to withstand that at the start of the game.
I'll go overall. It's disappointing, obviously, the result. And, when you're discussing what is required and what's going to unfold in the game, I mean, everyone knew off the back of some bad press and some scrutiny over the last period of time that they were going to find a way in the contested and precious stakes, and they did. So they get the credit for that. We knew we were going to have to work our way through it, and I think that was the problem for a fair portion of the game. When we actually got out, we put it back into pressure, and when we got out, we didn't use the ball particularly well. So with all that happening in the third quarter, we found a way to stay in it, and then felt like we were coming, and then we just needed to get a 1 or 2 on the scoreboard early in that last quarter, and the game's up for grabs. So it was, as much as the Hawks definitely got the upper hand with that side of the game, and as probably as marginally as we were going, we're still in it. If we're searching for any sort of positives, but yeah, they had us in a stranglehold, and the times when we looked like maybe we'd break out of it, they got us back in it. So we're half and half, 6 and 6, and we know that that's a part of our game that needs to improve for larger portions of the game.
You are 1 and 6 now against top 8 teams. Do you feel there is some distance between your footy and the best team's footy?
I always think that to make the leap into the top part of the competition, that if you're getting beaten by 15 or 20 points here and there, it's more than that. The margin on the scoreboard sometimes doesn't tell the full story. Whether it's not providing enough chances, 18 inside 50s in the first half just isn't going to be enough. It means our forwards are stale. They can't get into any sort of rhythm, and then what we've done in recent times against some of probably the better teams, and in the pressure of the game, we've turned the ball over too often and too blatantly, and that's put us on the back foot at different times, and it's hard to get momentum in the game when you're doing that too often. So that's skill, that's game sense. Some of it's a surprise, some of it isn't, depending on who's doing it. So we've just got to keep doing our best to improve it, train it, and keep focusing on what we can achieve. And I've been talking to players about making the leap, and that's what we're talking about. The growth will keep coming. Making the leap into that top upper echelon means that individually, through the lines, through the team, we've got to make more than just little increments of improvement. We've got to make big ones, and so we're doing our best to explore and discover it, but tonight we didn't.
You mentioned the forward line, obviously, the supply wasn't there at its best, but also how do you sort of see how Aaron might just be impacting games at the moment? How do you sort of assess how his performance has been going?
We just let him down. There's no supply. Obviously moved Rory forward to Weddle was a problem early. It was even numbers. They didn't have an extra. So with their key backs, and I mean, he's just an outstanding athlete. He intercepted the ball. We managed to curb his influence for a period of time in the middle parts of the game, and but it was one of the reasons why we swung Rory to help. Buku's an undersized key forward. Sometimes that hurt us in the ruck as well. And so, credit to Lobby. He went there and did his best, hit the scoreboard a couple of times. And it's an area of the ground where we've fought, we've bit and we've scratched, we've managed to get some bigger scores against even some of the better teams. Who've scored reasonably well. We've let them get too many. So yeah, it wasn't a night that where we found too many positives through the ranks. I thought Joel Frazier was pretty good across that half-back area. James O'Donnell, Latham Vandermeer forward, and there was some moments, but not enough consistency through the game from enough, unfortunately.
Is it a challenge to get going after the bye, Bevo? I mean, 5 goals to 1 at quarter time, that's the margin in the end. It looked a bit flat in the first quarter. Is it hard coming off the break?
It might be, Josh, but I think what you do is you go overs in making sure that you don't get caught in the barriers, that once the gate's open that you jump and you're ready to go. And we had trained pretty well in the last week and felt like we prepared for the intensity of the game well enough. But so maybe it was a factor, but it's definitely not an excuse.
Was it Josh mentions the start? Was it the start of those turnovers that proved the difference? It sucks all the energy out of you when you are coming back into the game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, wherever those turnovers happen, and especially when you've got a little bit of time and you give them a look with not many layers behind it, it is deflating. So we've got to do that less. We know that, and I think the players have been pretty good in the games and tonight's another one that has not necessarily been endemic, but it's been prevalent in the game. They've just still stuck at it.
Yeah.
But Hawthorn were just in the end tonight just too good at the physical side of the game. We lowered our colours.
Just at the start of the game, I think Ed started in defence, and obviously the Hawks had a really good start in the middle of the ground. How did you sort of see that at the start?
Yeah, I think if you go back and look at it, Ronnie, he was probably the first centre bounce.
Mm.
Yeah, he played through the midfield the whole night. Yeah, so we'll do that from time to time. And he didn't play in the back line though.
Mm.
How's Trelaw? Luke, he went off in the first quarter. He looked a bit proppy at times.
Yeah, he got a cork early, which wasn't ideal, but he was fine. He got through the game. So he'll be better for the run.
Yeah. Do you have any reaction to Ginnivan's showing the ball to you and Mob in the last quarter? Is that just winners and grinners?
Yeah, probably. Sometimes I think with the contemporaries these days, it doesn't even go in the memory banks. And the next time we play the Hawks, they won't even remember it, and I won't show it. That's what he does. It's the way he rolls.
How important is it next week when you do bring Sam Darcy back not to get sucked into Sam being the difference and everything will be fine from there?
Yeah, well, that'll be part of our thought process every week, really, with Sam. And but it won't be the priority next week, as you can tell. The way we're talking about the bona fides, the things that you have to be good at to be a formidable team that we didn't establish tonight. So we'll work through that. And at the moment, it seems like Sam might be available, but I don't want to commit to that because it's still a little bit of water still needs to go under that bridge. But it's a disappointing night all round. So we've had a pretty lean month and a half. We've got to get going again.
How did Adam pull up, and do you reckon he'll just be better for the run? Trelaw?
I've already answered that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.